So my presentation is on the buying behavior, which is on question 3. So let's take an overview of the questions. So we have number 1, what factors influence an individual's buying behavior? Number 2, do you believe it's possible to categorize the factors in any way? Number 3, how do you think it's best to do so? And 4, give examples. So let's start with number 1. There's an obvious answer to this question, just looking at internal and external factors that everybody has. Some examples of our internal factors are our attitude, perceptions, learning, capacity for memory, and motivations. And some example of our external factors can be a person's personal situation, the prevailing fashion, availability of disposable funds, their legal position, time to search, and the power of media. Besides these two very broad factors, there are even more broad factors like age, sex, and income that some companies purely just use this to market their products, and they necessarily don't do as well. Next thing I'd like to look at is lifestyle. It's an important factor, more so because it creates people to view ads and view them as more personalized. Usually is aided by the VAL survey, which helps researchers determine groupings based off lifestyle, their value, and activity, which is what it stands for. We then look at a person's attitude, which is what causes them to act the way they do. And a quote that I like from the book was that it forms an important part of the consumer theory because it's believed to be the crucial link between what consumers think and what they buy in the marketplace. And finally, we have perception, which is a fundamental part of marketing and communication world. But because it's a fundamental part of that world, how does it affect a person's buying behavior? Well, 1, customers act on their perceptions based off information they received, and 2, higher-ups need to understand how customers are perceiving their advertising and the information that is being put out about their brand. The only way they are going to know that an ad is landing or the information being put out is causing them to do well is if they understand people's reactions to them. We also have learning, as mentioned earlier, which helps consumers determine what they want to make the purchase on. Most of what consumers know about products or services is gathered through learning. And the buying behavior of consumers is truly affected by their wants and needs. If their want is a very high level or their need is a desperate need, that's going to cause people either to make, especially if it's a desperate need, maybe make an irrational decision. Whereas if it's a want and it's more calm, people might look into research to determine the best option possible. Now, do you believe it's possible to categorize the factors in any way? Well, since there are so many different factors that come into play when looking at it, it makes it extremely challenging to categorize it. Well, at least makes it look that way. But I don't think that's necessarily impossible. I do believe that research definitely helps create groupings where it can help categorize so many different elements when it comes to consumers and their behavior. And I also think it's important to know that based on product and service, they are going to act differently. People are not going to have the same energy when it comes to getting a service done for their car compared to getting a haircut or getting a certain skincare item. How do I think it's best to categorize the factors? Well, I personally think it's best to organize the factors first by taking a look into how much money the individual makes, like if they have kids, if they're single or married, if they live at home, if they live on their own, if they have pets, etc. Environment is the second thing that should be looked at because people in lower income areas compared to high income areas will definitely have very vast changes in choices where, people in lower income areas might typically want to do something more affordable, where higher end typically might just pick the first thing that comes along without necessarily looking at prices. In some cases, not all. As I do think factors like age and sex are very broad, they are important to be categorized because I think a survey to determine these factors before any research going into categorizing should be done. So let's take some examples from the textbook that I really liked. First thing I want to start with is Acorn profiles. This was amazingly organized. It dives into the organization of residential neighborhoods within the UK, and it covers a lot of factors about people's geodemographic. Figure 3.5 within the textbook gave a great example of how it looked like, and I literally thought it was amazing. It covers 6 categories, 18 groups, and 62 types, and that's literally that was the only thing shown in the textbook, so potentially there could be way more. And with how much information it covered, I was kind of astonished because it showed so much that companies can use to help develop their ads and develop their brand and just promote their products and services in a way that they could truly help land not just one type of customer, but 3 types of customers or 10 types of customers. The second thing I really liked was trait theory. It tracks both behavior traits and characteristics, and it also helps brands to develop their typology, which also helps them categorize who they're exactly trying to sell to. Table 3.6 helps show these traits, that they're markers, to help show marketers what some type of people are going to want in a product and service. As I do think trait theory was very, very good. I did like the table that was presented in the textbook. I do think it's important that people necessarily, or brands necessarily, don't just go based off this, because I feel like once they develop a typology and they want to break out of it, that's a very risky business because you played it safe from the beginning and now you're trying to change your brand and develop more. I think it does make it very challenging for brands to do that and still be successful. Not saying it's impossible. It's very possible. Many brands have done it and they have, gained way more success, but it is so risky at the end of the day. My closing thoughts. I personally think that buying behavior is an extremely complex topic because so much goes into why someone behaves the way they do, especially when it comes to buying. Sometimes it's a really well thought process and sometimes it's, oh, this looks good, I'm going to take this bag of chips, The opportunity that businesses have today is incredible. It causes them to have so many resources at their hand to help them find success in so many unique and different ways. Finally, we have my sources. I listed the websites because I rewatched some of them to help gain my own personal opinions, the textbook, and an article that was given in the textbook that I used for a quote, and an article that also helped me think of my own ideas when it came to how I thought things should be organized. I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Thank you.